Go.
My name's Sam Leamy. Welcome to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. Devastating, disastrous, just all the D's. I'm here with Michael McLaughlin and Connor Walsh. This is USA out of Russia 2018. Initial thoughts, boys. This is, a few hours after the disastrous defeat in Trinidad and Tobago. 2-1, they went down. And results going against them elsewhere. Panama and Honduras securing the spots above the United States in the Hex. How frustrated or mad are you right now? Anyone? Any takers?
I'm gonna start off because I don't think anyone. The thing is with CONCACAF, right, is no away game is easy. I don't think anyone who understands how the whole qualifying system works expected us to go into Trinidad with an easy result. First off, we didn't play in Port of Spain. Every fucking USA game in the history of USA World Cup qualifiers was played in Port of Spain, Trinidad. I think because of, don't quote me on this, but because of hurricane season, we were moved away from Port of Spain, I think, into higher territory, right?
Elevation.
Elevation, whatever. As of yesterday, every edge of the field was flooded. Players were getting carried across from the bench to the field, the train, because they're taped up. Wet tape is no joke. Like, seriously, you don't want to have wet tape, wet socks, wet boots, regardless, when you're training.
Well, they don't want to get blisters.
You don't want to get blisters, exactly, regardless. But players are getting carried across the field by physios.
Tattooed millionaires.
Yeah, literally. I mean, not to, whatever, regardless. Players were not on the field, or players were getting carried across the field. I don't know, man. So I've worked, Sam, I know you've worked every USA game I can imagine for 7 years now. I've worked every USA game for 2 years now. The bar was so eerie. The commentary itself, the stadium atmosphere itself was eerie. You could hear like the lack of sound made a sound over the TV.
It made a buzzing sound.
It made a buzzing. The lack of noise made a buzzing sound.
You got that, Mike? You got that from beIN Sports?
Yeah, it was like a.
Yep.
It was
90
What
minutes.
was that about?
So let me start at the beginning here. The game was on beIN Sports. We signed up for Football TV, which was showing the South American games. That crashed with the not even unexpected high traffic, but that crashed because all the games were kicking off at the same time.
Look at Taylor's phone on SportsCenter now. Talk that shit, Taylor.
We had Paraguay fans come in. We had Colombian fans come in. We had Peruvian fans come in. We had Argentina fans coming in. It was a kind of stressful atmosphere from the onset. And as soon as, that USA game kicked off and Trinidad took that early lead, should we say, you could feel the energy in the bar with beIN Sports' coverage, with that humming sound that we just mentioned. And nothing felt right all night. Nothing from the start. So even before we go into this game, this is 7 straight World Cups USA have been in since 1986. They have officially failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup, which was meant to be the most talented squad they've had in history. Jurgen Klinsmann was fired after the first 2 games of the Hex. The away form was not good all throughout the qualifying. One win away from home the whole qualifying. That was against St. Vincent
and the Grenadines. Don't forget the Grenadines. Not just St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
No win away from home in the Hex. Now, results going against them, the Honduras win, the Panama win today, all these scenarios. But at the end of the day, USA had the fate in their own hands and they could not get the job done in Trinidad and Tobago. Mike, are you going to make excuses for the United States here, or are you going to come down hard on them?
No. Excuse City. We got to boycott CONCACAF. We get the fuck out No, I don't, dude. I don't know what to think. It was such a weird. What were the odds of this even happening? Does anyone have the exact odds of all the three best teams? I mean, if you consider
so look at so 93% chance to qualify if we win. So wrap it up, right? 86%, I believe, if it was a draw. So again, pretty much wrap it up. I don't know what the odds were if we lost. However, for let's say 90 plus minutes of the USA game, or like pretty much 90 minutes of the USA game, regardless of the loss, it looked like we were through. However, Roman Torres, right? Donkey-ass center back from Seattle Sounders.
I know.
Dude, just absolutely lost for words, man. And Mike, I know you've worked at the bar for worked here for a while, bro. It's absolutely surreal, bro. It was really surreal.
Can I be honest with you? BN Sports, just, I mean, how annoying was with the cutaways constantly as USA is on an attack and the cutaway and it's like, dude, stop I want to watch this game right here.
People at the bar were yelling, bro. People were yelling at the bar like no one. By the way, we're at the bar right now. First episode from the bar, the unmentioned name of the bar. We're live from the bar. The bar's closed. It's currently 1:15 in the morning. I just finished up my shift.
I left my girlfriend at home.
Sam worked over a 12-hour shift today.
Good. USA.
Yeah, girlfriend's out.
USA's not making the World Cup. Our relationship's over. I'm done.
Well, this is the most active I've been on Twitter since the invention of Twitter. And, you know, I was texting you straight after the game, Mike. I spoke to you after the game. Connor's saying, get off Twitter. It's full of people that don't understand what is actually happening. This event tonight that has happened, since you've paid any attention in soccer since 2006, Mike. 2000. Well, I know you followed the 2002 World Cup.
No, I didn't. I didn't follow that live.
2006. How do you think this event tonight is going to affect the future of U.S. soccer?
Well, first of all, it affects it huge because, one, the whole generation, the whole Altidore, Bradley, it's all done. They're done. Arena's done.
Before we start attacking all these players,
okay. I'm not attacking them. I love those guys.
This is like our instant reaction now. This is only a few hours. USA have been knocked out of the World Cup, and you're gonna feel anger towards the Bradleys, the Altidores, the Arenas.
No, I'm just thinking when you actually think about now, the only thing that matters is in 5 years. Well, Josie Altidore's 27. Is he really gonna be playing when he's 32? You know, Michael Bradley's 29. Is he really going to be in the midfield when he's 34? No. So they're not probably going to get that. They might not get that many more call-ups. They will. They'll probably play some Gold Cups. They'll be there. Don't get me wrong. But, dude, this whole thing is going to change. Like, it's just the implications of this. We don't even realize.
Yeah, we don't even
how bad.
We don't even understand what's about to happen, for better or for worse. I know. So.
Dude, we don't have a World Cup from 2014 for 8 years to 2022. We have an 8-year gap now with no World Cup.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it like that, that's pretty surreal.
Man.
And for the generations below me, I mean, I'm from England, like, taken. I've lived in the US for 10 years now. I've slowly, gradually formed a bond with this national team and the players that have grown throughout the national team. In this period of time, I've never felt closer to the national team. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not, I don't feel that kind of connection. England's still my team. England's still my home. It's where I grew up. But there is a connection now between myself and the United States national football team. And I felt pain tonight. I did feel pain. I hugged men that were crying on my shoulder. And
one of those men was myself while I was working, pouring beers, crying. Dude,
I felt their pain.
Mike, I had to change a keg of Bitburger tonight. Bitburger kicked. Shout out
in the midst of it all?
Right after the game.
Dude, somebody ordered a fucking beer. I would lose my fucking... No, oh my God.
Mike,
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for cursing. I'm trying not to curse.
Honestly,
sorry,
bro,
Mom.
I was like, I don't know how I'm going to work the next 2.5 hours of my shift. I was in the keg room of the bar, changing Bitburger, literally bawling my eyes out. I needed to take like 5 minutes I was like crying after the game behind the bar. Once Bitburger kicked, it was Absolutely fucking surreal experience, dude. Something I hope I never have to experience again. And Sam, as a somewhat neutral, his perspective is probably the only perspective that matters right now, because I was like, dude, the last 10 minutes of that game, I could not even lift my arm to pour it. It was wild, bro. I can't even explain it.
There has not been many situations in recent memory where USA have not met those expectations. They've always been the underdog at the World Cup, the 2010 World Cup, the 2014 World Cup.
2002 World Cup.
Since the 2002 World Cup, they've always been that underdog, and any progress they have made in those World Cups, they've exceeded. And the way fans have felt from those results have stemmed to, well, they can never fail against these lesser nations where they're expected to win. And now you have stumbled across these teams and failed to progress from the Hex with an appalling qualifying campaign. There's no other words, appalling qualifying campaign. And when that happens, I felt this pain as an England fan. We lost to Iceland last year, just over 12 months ago. When I was 13, we did not qualify for the 1994 World Cup. An easy qualifying campaign. We did not qualify for that. Even as recently as 2008, we did not qualify for the Euros when we were expected to, with that golden generation. Now England have, I'm not going to shove it in your faces, they have qualified for this World Cup in Russia with a lesser talented squad than we've ever had since I've, been alive. We're going into this World Cup with the least amount of expectation since I've been born as an England fan. Now, USA have not progressed as a nation to this World Cup when they were expected to do. So I know exactly how every fan felt in this bar. I felt that pain. And I don't think...
Yeah, but it was bizarre. Do you remember when Manchester United lost in 2011 when Aguero for City scored that goal, why all the results were happening all at once, and it was all against United? Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, of course I remember that. That was 6 years ago. I'm a
adult.
But it
wasn't just that we lost. It wasn't just that we didn't get the result. It was that and Panama beat Costa Rica and Honduras beat Mexico all within the last 5 to 7 minutes of their game. It's just too. I can't put it into words, man.
I was next to someone who had the scores on refresh, and then I heard the commentator.
Yeah, Phil Schoen was like, "It might be midnight for the United States. Panama has scored," and then beIN Sports cut to the shot of Roman Torres scoring, a center back, frankly, scoring a very nice goal, a nice volley finish, and. From the first 15 minutes or so of the U.S. game when we were down 1-0, it felt like this was another U.S. men's national team situation gone wrong.
Yeah, however, I thought they were going to write it, though.
However, to hear that Roman Torres, any of our American listeners that follow MLS, Roman Torres is no doubt one of the best center backs in the league, starts for Seattle Sounders, great player. But to hear that Panama scores and Roman Torres scores a volleyed goal in the box.
Can I be honest with you? I blacked out. I don't even know what the goal looked like. And I had all the games. And the bar I was at had all the games live. Like they had most U.S. screens, and we had the Honduras Mexico game and the Pan. We had all the games, so I could see them all at once.
The freakiness of the games in Panama and Honduras, the equalizer for Panama. If you go and watch that goal on YouTube, it didn't cross the line. It didn't cross the line. It was a guy tripping over, trying to shoulder it in, and then Panama, Costa Rican defender, kind of scooped it away out for a goal kick. The goal was given, 1-1. And
are you saying that VAR? If we had VAR, dude, we'd be in the World Cup.
Hey, leave VAR out of this. At least VAR is perfect, bro.
Maybe we'll go back to this, but then the scenes in Honduras. A team that the US beat 6-0 6 months ago. Regardless to these results, and we have to focus on the United States here. We have to focus on a team with the fate in their own hands. A point was all they needed. 1 point.
That was the worst part.
To Trinidad and Tobago
That was
away
the
from...
worst part. As every result was coming in, Mexico scores, Honduras scores, Costa Rica scores, Panama scores. Okay. All we need is a draw. At the very least, let's get to that playoff against Australia, which by no means is a fucking easy game, man. It's by no
Was that
means...
going to be a home and away? Was that going to be a home and away?
That would have
playoff?
been a 5 a.m. game. That would have been... We would have opened up a... That would have been...
Me and Sam were talking at halftime, like, bro, bar's opening at 5 a.m. I'm working, bro. Bar's going to be slammed at 5 in the morning. Like, different story. That was kind of, as bad as it sounds, that may have been kind of exciting. Just...
Yeah, no, that, yeah.
Bar's opening at 5 a.m. We're working at 5 a.m. pouring beers, regardless. But
that would have been great. Where would they would put the game up in Seattle or Columbus or something? That would have been great.
I don't know. Hopefully as far away from Australia.
Well, Australia,
as
like there's no
yeah,
Australian.
why not?
Thing,
Why not throw it
yeah.
up in Seattle or throw it up in Portland?
Yeah.
Regardless, but I don't even know what my point was.
We are so hypothetical fans now. I'm like, well, if we want,
the point
is there any way they can like retract the goal and we can get through in the playoff?
The point was that the U.S. could not muster a point in Trinidad and Tobago tonight.
Yeah, and you thought with what Pulisic scoring in the first.
Oh, once he scored that goal, I'm like, okay.
Well,
we have a superstar.
Before we jump ahead of ourselves, let's just. Yeah. I mean, I know you don't want to break the game down play by play, but we kind of have to. Like, I mean, the lineup, same as what they did against Panama.
It was still perfect though.
But at the end of do you think there was any? I would say Bruce Arena predictability in that lineup, and did Trinidad kind of play with that? They saw the game on Friday and was like, okay, we can play against this, we know what's coming. If they threw somewhat, another roll of the dice in that lineup, then that would mix it up and we wouldn't know how to play. I mean, exactly the same lineup from Bruce Arena, and it backfired at the end of the day.
It backfired because these guys actually
there was no wingers.
They bunkered down.
We got to settle down though, because on Friday night it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. It was any USA fan that watches game in, game out, that knows a little bit about MLS, that follows European leagues. That was the absolute perfect lineup. And I know we talked amongst ourselves, just texting before the game. You guys threw out your lineups.
I thought Benny was going to start.
Regardless though, but. For that to go that wrong,
dude. Here's the thing. I mean, within 15 minutes, they were tired.
Yeah,
I swear to God, within 15 to 20 minutes, they were tired. I know the humidity is like 90% and it was like 83 degrees.
I mean,
maybe Orlando must have been hot too.
Orlando
pitch
was
slow,
similar.
but it's harder working on that pitch, moving around. I think that they looked tired, and maybe I was like, oh shit, maybe they should have put Pulisic on the wing and had Fell Harbor in the middle. Something different, because I mean, I love Josie. He's like one of my favorite players. I've made, how many bets have I made with the general manager, the bar you work at, with how many goals Josie's going to score this year in the EPL, and I lost every fucking
I think every time. $50
I still owe him like more than that. And but I love Josie, but that was one of the worst halves I've ever seen him play, man.
I think that's one of the worst halves I've ever seen a professional footballer play. There was flicks that were going 30 yards in the air. There was no chemistry. Maybe one up front would have been good for this game. Maybe just a Bobby Wood to hold the ball up and get Pulisic in, playing off him. You could have put Pulisic on the wing. I felt like it was too. They were too confusing going forward. There was no structure.
Outdoor was coming all the way deep like that to get the ball. I mean, how many games have you seen Outdoor come over the halfway line to receive the ball?
He was so deep. He was so deep.
And I'm like, wouldn't it be better if that was Pulisic and Outdoor running? And the more you think about it, you're like, yeah, it probably would have been better to have just one striker and played maybe for like a tighter game, dude. But the thing is, dude, it wasn't as if we got countered that many times. I mean, Omar, I want to wait for Connor to come back for this because I'm about to go to the first goal. Hold on, because
I mean, I'll discuss the first goal with you.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about the guys. I mean, I felt like you just said they were exhausted after 15 minutes, and Villafana on the left-hand side, the guy was coming at him, and the cross came from behind him. He opened it. He showed the guy down the wing, and obviously didn't want to get beaten for pace down that wing. So the cross came behind, and you can
it's a
say
slight deflection, right?
The cross, I don't think it deflected.
I thought I thought Villafana got a slight deflection.
Gonzalez makes, he sticks a leg out, tries to clear it, comes off his shin, spins over Tim Howard. One, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate that all those things happen. Two, the body shape of the centre-back of Omar Gonzalez was not great for a centre-back. He wasn't convincing. He wasn't facing upfield, which he should have been. He should be square on to that ball, kind of angled towards Tim Howard, and that's exactly what happened. You're going to criticize Gonzalez for scoring an own goal in this game, and you're going to criticize Wondolowski for missing that chance against Belgium. Do you think he's going to be more criticized than Wondolowski in that game?
No.
I don't think so, because
no
one played well today. No one played great.
Because every fucking non-soccer fan I was texting, I had a show tonight, everybody had no idea this game was even on. They're like, what? What are you talking about? We missed the World Cup? Like, no one even... It was really only soccer fans that knew that this was happening. It's not like Wondolowski missing a sitter but at a game that everybody in the country is watching.
To be fair to the casual to non-soccer but sports fan, the game was on beIN Sports, which not every household gets. I know we all get it. Bars get it. If you have a expensive cable package, you probably get it. But... I know. As soon as the game ended at 10:30ish, right? No, it was probably 10 o'clock-ish, right? I'm working the bar tonight. A group of college kids came in for a 21st birthday, and they saw me with my jersey on, and all these kids were like, "Yo, what happened, bro? We're not going to the World Cup. What happened? Like, we couldn't watch the game, but what happened?" And I was like,
"Okay,
dude, we just." Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And that's the bottom line. It's that simple. It's no one.
When that first goal, Connor, what did you think when that first goal went in? I wasn't like, oh, where sky is falling. I was like, that's just super unlucky. Whatever. We're still gonna win this game.
So let me just tell you about my situation. I think Sam will agree with this, right? Because obviously he was working. We had a 70-person party at the bar, plus the USA fans, plus all the South American fans that came in. So to be frank, it was too busy to sit there and follow, especially the first half, just trying to get everyone their beer.
Well, we're watching it right now.
Yeah, the game's on right now.
We're 11 minutes in.
Thanks, beIN Sports. We're in the 12th minute. Sick. But the bar frankly was busy. So I couldn't really focus that much in the first half, other than when I'm literally pouring a beer and looking up at the TV to see what's going on.
Yeah.
When the first goal went in, I was like, okay, this is the U.S. men's national team we know and love. We're down a goal. Let's see what happens. It was concerning, but I wasn't in panic mode. I wasn't in panic mode. I don't, Sam or Mike, I don't know if you guys were, but I was like, okay, this is shitty, but this is what we know and love. This is what we support. This team always steps up to the occasion. Always steps up to the occasion. When have we not stepped to the occasion? Really, frankly, I mean, really.
Well, USA are known for last gasp, drama, and success. And I want to start off by saying these two games, even before the Friday night game, the Panama victory was the easy part. This was the hard part. Going away to Trinidad and Tobago and not securing any away win in the Hex so far. And with a team that, yes, they are bottom of the Hex, but they nearly beat Mexico on Friday.
Dude, don't sleep on CONCACAF teams away, bro. Anyone
it's always
tricky. That follows this knows this game wasn't easy, man. No one expected this to be easy. However, it shouldn't have been as hard as it was.
Yeah, but I know Sam hates when I talk about this. You put that on a pristine, perfect pitch. Pulisic walks through them, and we get goals in the beginning.
Dude, no,
I believe that.
Bro, that field was underwater yesterday, bro. We're playing.
Yeah, but you see how pumping. Do you see? It took us to the second half before any of our players got a feel for the pitch, and that's why we dominated the second half for the most part.
Bro, I'm sorry, dude. I don't care what. No, it's not.
I don't want to. No,
I watched the whole first half.
I'm not making a single excuse.
I'm
for
telling
any
you,
one
the
of
ball
these players
was bumping.
Or the whole federation, bro. No excuses, man. If you can't win at Trinidad away, I don't care if the game's in Port of Spain, Trinidad, or up in the mountains because it's hurricane season and they're worried about flooding, which happened. The field was flooded. There's no excuses. You can't. At least a draw. You need a fucking draw at least, man. We get a point. We're going to the playoff against Australia. Not even a fucking point. You gotta get a point, man. At least a point. Even when we're down 1-0, 2-0, Pulisic does great. We're within a goal from the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Maybe we should have played Pulisic. Maybe we should have sat Wood and had just gone 4-4-1 or something like that. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, we're missing a player on the field at that point.
My bad. My math. 4-4-1, whatever.
Okay, as an outsider looking in, analyzing the whole night. And USA going 2 goals down. Let's talk about the second goal. Alvin Jones. He plays for West Connection. He's 23 years old.
For MLS fans, Jovan Jones' younger brother. Jovan plays for Seattle Sounders. So 2 Sounders players, relation, whatever, regardless, got us tonight.
First goal for Trinidad and Tobago. The way he struck that ball from 30-plus yards out. What a ping. Let's just sit down. Let's stand up and
golazo. Absolute golazo.
Applaud that goal.
Yeah, I mean that was another one. What are you going to do?
You can say Tim Howard was late to react, but I mean, at the end of the day, the guy's striking a perfect shot from 35 yards, and it's dipping, it's swerving, and it's placed right in the corner. So 2-0 Trinidad. So as the game's going on, from an outsider looking in, I never felt nervous about the U.S. progressing because there were so many scenarios that had to happen. Obviously, Mexico couldn't return the favor like USA did 4 years ago.
Look at Sports Center, bro.
Honduras,
Sports Center.
Coming through with, a late winner. 2 goals, reversing that. Everything was going fine for the United States, even at 2-1 down, 2-0 down, 2-1 down. And then as soon as Pulisic scored, then everything started going wrong. United States were missing chances. There was no creativity going forward. In the final third for the United States, Josie Altidore flicking aimless balls into the absolute... There's nothing between Altidore and Bobby Wood. There is absolutely nothing. You have a guy playing in the MLS for the past 2-3 years... Put him alongside someone who's playing in the Bundesliga, you can see the quality of Wood and Pulisic these last 2 games. There's no question about it. Those are your 2 best players in the team, and you have to build around those 2 players going forward. Like you said, you can attack.
Real quick. Josie's been great in MLS the last 2 years. To be fair, I get that the Bundesliga and MLS is a different standard. Josie's been... arguably the best number 9.
This is international football. This is not MLS. This is not, as much as we love the MLS on this podcast, as much as we say that league's growing, this is international football.
Okay, but Josie's still done better for 2 years. I don't care, bro. I don't care what league it is. Josie's had more of a output than Bobby Wood has. I don't care what league it is or what team you play for. Bobby Wood is scraping relegation right now, and he scraped relegation for 2 years. Josie plays for the best club in Major League Soccer. Okay, he's performing, he's scoring goals, he's playing with top. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I mean, I want to agree with you, but deep down, I'm like, I know. Like the turn that Woods goal and against Panama, I don't see Josie doing it that quick. I think playing at that level makes you better. I think Dempsey's not nearly the player he was when he was at Fulham, right?
Oh, obviously that was 5, 6, 7 years ago. It was a long time ago. I don't know. I don't know. Josie's had way more of an output of productivity in the last few years than Bobby Wood has.
Either way, though, Sam, it doesn't matter. Even if they were MLS players, they still should have gotten a point, away at Trinidad.
2 MLS players buried the men's national team tonight.
Well, these are
hating MLS. This is the reality of the confederation we play in. It's MLS players performing against MLS players.
Yeah, MLS players.
A lot of really good MLS players played in the Hex this year. A lot of really good MLS players played in the Hex.
You're right. MLS has made CONCACAF better more than it's made the U.S. men's national team better.
Okay,
done.
you can argue that,
That's
and
done.
that's a
Done.
really good point. That was a really good point. So let's rewind 4 years. Let's rewind. USA get knocked out by Belgium in the 2014 World Cup. Okay, you lose against a better team. You lose against a more talented team. You come out of that World Cup and go, all right, it was good to get this far under Jurgen Klinsmann. Now the process starts. How do we beat teams like Belgium? How do we beat teams, slightly below the Argentinas, the Brazils, the Germanys, I was going to say Netherlands then, but they didn't qualify. But the might of world soccer. Now you can't beat Trinidad and Tobago. Cannot beat Trinidad and Tobago. You lost against Guatemala just over a year ago away.
If you look at all the teams, all the USA qualifying, all the years, dude, they always have these crazy results away. They never put the best they ever did World Cup qualifying was 2006. They went to the World Cup. That's the worst World Cup, since before 90, maybe 98?
It was the worst
I don't
World
know.
Cup we've had since we started going to the World Cup was 06.
Exactly. So it's just that's what I'm saying is just the inconsistency of the pitches, of the weather, of all that shit. And I know you're like, whatever. But it is kind of annoying to me. I'm like, dude, when I said let's fucking boycott CONCACAF, let's join UEFA or join CONMEBOL, I wasn't kidding. I'm like, yo, what? Fuck them. Let's get out of here, and they can be by themselves. I don't give a shit. Like, what? I mean, I just how many times? I mean, I know it sounds like an asshole American whatever, but how many times are we gonna go and play? And it's just like, as a product, like I'm the least, into soccer in my life of this podcast, right? I'm the newest in my life to being. I didn't grow up with it as beloved like Connor did. I didn't grow up in England like you did. I got into it as an adult. And if I'm buying a product and I turn on the fucking TV and I'm watching these games in Panama, in Honduras, in Trinidad, this sucks. It sucks to watch. It sucks. All my friends were watching like, this sucks. I'm trying to sell it to them. And I'm like, no, but you should have seen the Panama game at home. That was great. Well, that's not what we're watching. We're watching this shit. And I'm like, yeah, it sucks. It's not a good product to buy. And that's my problem with CONCACAF. It's like, do you want to make the product better, or are you just going to let smaller nations, which I totally understand where they're coming from, they're going to fight, they're going to crawl, they're going to use every advantage, they're going to have games in the middle of the afternoon and it's 9,000 degrees. I get all that. But tell them they can't do it. Tell them the pitch has to be perfect. Tell them I'm watching Argentina, Peru. Argentina.
Ecuador.
Who the hell they played? Ecuador. Beautiful pitch in Ecuador. I mean, it's pristine. It's like, what the fuck? Ecuador is not some economic bliss country. You know what I mean? Why can't we just have this? Why can't everything be pretty close to like a decent, fair place? Why is it like, oh, you know how they are down there? It's gonna be. I don't deal with this shit anymore.
No, there's a point there. There's a point there. Is that no? You're right, dude. There's definitely a point.
There's definitely a point, but nothing has changed. Nothing has changed since the start of any qualifications in CONCACAF.
Dude, I'm at a fucking bar and I'm spending like I don't even want to drink. I had like 2 drinks and I'm like, this is so boring.
You know what's better than being
sucks.
at a bar is working at a bar. Finessing people out of their money to watch the U.S. loss in World Cup qualifying.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So I got all riled up. I hope I didn't offend anybody there, but it's just annoying. It's like, as far as I guess the World Cup means so much to people. It means so much to, especially the smaller your country is. It's a way to put your name on the map. Panama is. I mean, I feel good for those players in a weird.
I mean, they're an aging team who have never made a World Cup. And
who actually finished Honduras or Panama?
Panama.
To be fair to Panama, and you have to respect this. When Graham Zusi scored that stupid late goal 4 years ago to knock them out of the World Cup, hey, man, karma. Or not even karma. It's just life, man. Life comes full circle. Panama did exactly to us what we did to them 4 years ago. And if you don't think this game is it's not a one-story game, man. We're not the only fucking upset people in the world, man. People in Panama care about the game. Yeah. They fucking want to go to the World Cup, and they care about soccer. So can we hate on them? There's nothing to hate on Panama. There's nothing to hate on any of these. When we played Panama on Friday night, Look how they responded. Look how we responded to a win. Look how they responded to a loss. They're going to the World Cup, and we're going to fucking watch it from home with our golden generation. Fuck you, U.S. Soccer. Fuck.
I ask you one question. If Jeff Cameron starts, we go to the World Cup?
Dude, I can't even comment on that. I don't know, man.
He's got to start.
I don't know.
I mean,
Jeff Cameron's our best defender by far.
Jeff Cameron
it's not
doesn't
even close.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we're talking over each other right now. But I just saw the replay of the first goal. It was a lazy clearance from Gonzalez there. Absolute lazy. And the cross shouldn't come in. Villafania's done terrible trying to block that cross. I know he's scared. I know he's fearful of getting done by pace down that right-hand side. But it looked like a team, Mike Connor. It looked like a team that turned up in Trinidad and obviously expected to get a point. They just didn't feel like they wanted to be there. They really, after 15 minutes, they started off well, and they're like, all right, okay. And then they just wanted to go home, I felt. Like, the energy levels dropped.
The energy level drops. When you coming from a stadium packed, 28,000 people screaming, chanting, awesome. And then you go, and it's like, you practice in the middle of the mountains, and 500 people show up at the game. And there's a buzzing sound. No one knows where it's coming from.
I played Class D New York State High School, which is the smallest class in New York State. Dead ass, I had more people at every game in my high school career.
Yeah,
that's not even a joke, man.
Dude, it was embarrassing. I was at a bar, and we had tons of Colombian fans watching the Colombia-Peru game. We had tons of Argentinians watching the Ecuador game. They had those sounds on, and then when we'd flip to the USA game, it was embarrassing. The sound, like, it was just like,
dude, there was the buzz, bro. It was so quiet in the stadium that it created noise. And we had the sound up all the way at the bar, and we had to turn it down because of the buzz, bro. The buzz is too loud and too obnoxious that you can't just watch. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
want to shit on Trinidad. I get it. Like, there's a small country, and it costs them too much money to have it.
Not only that, but they were out of the World Cup. They had nothing to play for. This was just
they played great. I mean, it's honestly, they played outstanding. Trinidad, give it all up to them. They played. That young kid was
a team of guys that play. A bunch of guys play MLS. A bunch of guys play USL. A bunch of guys play NASL. These are guys playing professional soccer in the United States in front of big crowds, man. There's big crowds in NASL. There's big crowds in USL. And I'm sure some of the clubs in Trinidad that these guys play for, they play in front of crowds. Not to mention the European clubs they play for. These are guys that are used to playing in front of people, and they're used to playing at a semi-high standard. I don't care if it's the 3rd Division of America or the 3rd Division of England. These guys play in front of people, and, dude, this isn't a... CONCACAF's not a joke. It's not a joke.
But listen, if we calm down just a little bit, we got a little unlucky. It wasn't as if they were storming down the wings and peppering the goal a bunch. We dominated possession. We dominated. I don't know. They had a few chances on counters. Don't get me wrong, but it was unlucky a little bit.
I don't think it was just about tonight. I mean, we went to the
you're right.
We went to the Costa Rica game. I mean, first two games, out of the way. I mean, under Klinsmann, the home loss against Mexico, and then the away loss against Costa Rica. That set the tone for a struggling campaign, regardless what Bruce Arena was going to do in the next game and the next game after that. When reality really set in was the game that we went to down in New York, and Costa Rica turned the United States over 2-0. That was like, holy shit, the reality might be that USA might not make it to the World Cup. They turned it around on Friday night against Panama. And, a late goal in Honduras. Late goal in Honduras. If Bobby Wood doesn't score that goal, God knows how it would have played out in those standards.
If he doesn't score that goal, tonight's irrelevant. I mean, frankly, regardless of what happened the previous Friday against Panama.
They've scraped through this qualifying campaign. They've stuttered through this qualifying campaign right from the off. I mean, we can talk about how unlucky they were tonight. Tonight, unlucky. Panama, unlucky. Lucky to get those, goals. Honduras getting a goal off the back of the Mexico keeper's head, like coming off the bar. You know, all these scenarios.
And Dempsey hit the bar. Hit the post.
Hit
the post.
And Feldharber did everything right. The player behind him got the header down. Good save by the goalkeeper. But at the end of the day, it's 10 games, and they got 12 points. 10 games and they got 12 points, and not one win away from home. You have one win away from home, you're going to Russia. One out of 5. But they got 0 out of 5. Say it's tough, say it's CONCACAF, say it's the pitches. There's Mexico going away to these countries. You know?
Costa Rica.
There's South American teams going from Buenos Aires, 82 feet above sea level,
1,000
to no, Buenos Aires isn't, it's 82, and then going to Quito the next day in Ecuador and, you know, winning 3-1. These scenarios happen. You have to get a result at Trinidad and Tobago away. You have to. If it depends on you going to the World Cup, you get a result. If you're the United States, done. Simple. It's as simple as that, Mike. Don't say unlucky. Don't say the pitch.
Hold on. No, I was saying unlucky with some of the goals. Shut up. That was good. Good rant. But when Pulisic scored that goal, what did you feel? I felt we're definitely gonna.
It was nothing. I don't think anything changed. It didn't really matter. Did I think they were going to win the game?
No, I felt that we would get a draw and that we'd play a playoff against Australia. That was my. You could, bro. So the U.S. men's national team, over the course of us watching for a decade and a half, 2 decades, you guys are both a little bit older than me. It's the same story over and over again, and we're down 2-1. Pulisic scores a great goal. Hope is raised a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's us, bro. This is what we expect, man. We got a strap for a second goal. We're getting a draw. I personally didn't expect anything more than a draw. However, if that draw got us to a playoff, at least we're still in the picture, man.
And Australia is not a given. They did beat Syria today 2-1 at home. Tim Cahill getting a brace. Syria taking the lead. Texting you guys, didn't know Tim Cahill was still, active.
I didn't know he was still playing until he scored. I saw on Twitter at 7 a.m. he scored the winner. 37
years old, scored a last-minute winner. It was going to penalties. And that wouldn't be an easy trip. And it's not going to be an easy trip for Honduras out there, home and away. Absolutely not. Australia are a strong team. They have more top-flight players than the US do. And it would have been a really tough playoff game for the United States. And it hurts. I get it. It hurts right now for you guys. And Twitter's blowing up. Podcasts are blowing up. YouTube's blowing up. Reddit's blowing up.
Stay off the internet, man. There's two problems with today. All right.
Stay off the internet, but download the podcast.
Everyone that covers sports in the United States thinks they know the U.S. men's national team. Everyone. Stephen A. Smith. All you fucking assholes think you know the U.S. men's national team. You don't. Okay. And they're the ones that are in the loudest voice. They're going to have the Twitter accounts getting 800 retweets. They're going to be on First Take. They're going to be on FS1 tomorrow morning with Colin Cowherd sharing their opinion. You know literally nothing. And what's even worse than that is the American soccer fan whose great-grandpa knew someone that grew up in England, so you're an England soccer fan. You support Germany, you support Italy, and then you shit on the U.S. men's national team because you don't know fuck all about the MLS, you don't know fuck all about our players. So then you gotta fucking give your fucking opinion on social media. Go fuck yourself. Honestly, man. Honestly. Because it's ridiculous. I was working. I was busy, okay? I've been on Twitter like 4 times, and the opinions I've seen, the retweets I've seen, have been from the dumbest people in the American sports media sphere, whatever. And then the worst part is the people that I know that support soccer who are Americans, but then, oh yeah, my grandpa's from England. I'm an England fan. So the U.S. men's national team sucks. Everyone sucks. Pulisic sucks. I haven't watched the MLS in my whole life. Everyone sucks. Dude, it is ridiculous, bro.
I'm right with you.
Stay off the internet, bro. Stay off the internet for the next month.
Connor, if you're a person who's like, this is what we do, we suck at soccer. If you have that opinion, that's great. Name me a player on the U17 team. Oh, you don't know him.
Exactly.
You don't know it. You're not paying attention.
You don't even have sports, bro. You didn't even watch the game today, and I'm hearing your opinion on social media.
I can't stand it.
140 characters. I hear your opinion. You don't even have beIN Sports to watch the game. You were
I'm
jerking off.
I'm by far the least educated soccer-wise of this podcast, and I'm 10 times better than every asshole is going to be talking the next couple of days. What's up?
Let's take it down a notch or two. Wise words from my co-presenters here. Totally hear you loud and clear. I do. There's a lot of drab on the internet. There's a lot of stuff on Twitter that's circulating. Our favorite presenter, I would say, is definitely Taylor Twellman, who has a magnificent rant on ESPN.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And what I would like to say to all the US soccer fans out there is stick behind your team. Now is the time that the team needs you. Now is the time that the federation needs you. There's going to be wholesale changes to this federation. The president's gone. The manager's gone. You know,
not yet, but it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yes.
They're going to go. And unfortunately for Bruce Arena, this is a sad ending to an illustrious career that he's had. From where he took us, from where he took you guys to in the 2002 World Cup was phenomenal with the players he had, the group that he had. I'm going to attack him slightly today. I think he got it all wrong today. He went in there with the team that overturned Panama on Friday. But was it the right team to put out against Trinidad and Tobago? It obviously wasn't. You needed experience on that pitch. You needed wing play on that pitch. You needed something different. And you look at that second Trinidad and Tobago goal, they strung like 10, 12 passes together. It wasn't like they were lumping the ball forward and, doing flying kicks. They played a good game, Trinidad and Tobago, tonight. And right now, for any US soccer fan out there, is you have to get behind the generation that's coming up. There was a good performance in the Under-20 World Cup this summer. The Under-17s are showing great signs in this current World Cup. 2 wins out of 2, already qualified for the knockout stages. There's a generation coming through right now, which needs people like us and all the listeners out there and people who are criticizing the team.
Dude, look at a goal. Avon Jones' goal is sorry.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this has happened. This is a stumbling block in a nation that can be great at soccer. It can be, no doubt about it. There's no question in my mind that it can be. They're producing players like Christian Pulisic, Bobby Wood, great players. Bradley, Outdoor, I know we attacked them, but good players. And now there's a generation behind them. There's going to be a mix of experience and youth.
I think the worst part is for us is that we recognize how the team is as far as soccer fans go, but we also recognize the appeal to the average sports fan that is getting into soccer, and that the U.S. is a special team in the World Cup. I don't think anyone can disagree that come to the World Cup, the last 3 World Cups, the United States men's national team the last 4 World Cups has been the most exciting team on the field. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what result's going to happen. You don't know upsets, great finishes. Dude, so many of my friends that I went to school with that aren't soccer guys, never grew up with soccer, never watched soccer, have been texting me throughout this qualifying campaign. Like, yo, dude, this is awesome, bro. Pulisic's the man. I love this. This is great. Supporting the team. Just casuals. Sports fans that can understand the appeal of soccer. And this was such a lost opportunity for American sports fans that would have gotten into soccer this World Cup. It's a loss for U.S. Soccer, the Federation. It's a loss for MLS. It's a loss for NASL. It's a loss for USL. It's a loss for the youth national teams. Dude, it's such a. That's my biggest thing. It's not that the team lost. I love the thought of this game growing in this country, and this was such a loss for the casual fan. It was such a loss for us. But I don't even know, man.
I think that there may be some, what do you want to call it, good out of this in the long run. There's a better phrase for that. But, in 2006, dude, I was a total casual fan. I just clicked on. I had no idea when USA was playing. I didn't know. Watched the games. We got beat by Ghana, got kicked out. And that's what got me into the game. The losing gets you more into it than winning does. It's kind of what I'm saying about that.
I hear what you're saying, but when the game's in beIN Sports in front of 300 fans in Trinidad, I don't know if that's the case, but I know what you're saying, man. I know exactly what you're saying. I don't know if tonight was that situation.
I think we're gonna feel that in the World Cup when it comes around. People are like, when's the U.S. game? Like, oh, they didn't make it. Like, what? What do you mean they didn't make it? But the problem is that if they don't have the game to watch, they're not gonna feel that that energy.
Come from England, and knowing how my friends perceive the U.S. soccer team. I'm not going to say it's a joke, and it never was a joke, but they were a team that were never expected to do anything. They were that grit team. They were the fans' favorite team because the experience wasn't there. The history wasn't there. The results, there's no awards that the world know that USA win. Gold Cup. No, the rest of the world don't know what the Gold Cup is. They know it goes on, but they don't know what it is, and they don't know USA used to dominate that tournament. Yeah. And it is going to be sad. Yeah, absolutely, it's going to be sad. And I don't know how the country's going to react to this. What the MLS certainly have to do is keep doing what they're doing, keep growing the league. What the youth development have to do is keep doing what they're doing, keep producing these players, and then we'll come back in 4 years and we'll make the 2022 World Cup. That's the positives that are going to happen. The waiting game is frustrating. I understand that. And
think about this. I said this, I go, we're never going to see Christian Pulisic in a World Cup until he's 24 years old.
It's fine.
Christian Pulisic is going to be a grown man by the time we see him in a World Cup.
It's fine. We had Paul Gascoigne in his mid-20s in 94. He didn't make it. Mid-20s. Prime of his career. Didn't make it.
I will say this. I will say you could almost, I wouldn't say golden generation yet, but with the players coming through, Pulisic leading the way, and how the U20 and U17 are performing, and the teams they're getting signed by. Werder Bremen signed Josh Sargent. Timothy Way is in PSG. And these are 17-year-old kids. Brooks Lennon is still, I think, owned by Liverpool. He's playing for Real Salt Lake.
Killed it.
There's so many different players coming from. Andrew Carlton, as you were saying, is one of the top. The
Guardian released their top 50 players. Born in 2000, the year 2000, Andrew Carlton's on that list. Atlanta United player.
And it looks like Pulisic, and these are all people from the ages of 15, 16 to 20. It sounds crazy to talk about kids this young, but you look at Pulisic is already, this kid is just, he's such at a higher level than we've ever experienced. And I think by the time in 2 years, he may be one of the best wingers in the world or number 10s. I don't know. I don't know where he's going to be. I know I'm biased, but we could be looking at a team that comes through, and maybe we get a coach that can really foster and bring this team together over the next 4 to 5 years.
It's all good. It's all expectations right now. England thought Ross Barkley was going to be the next Steven Gerrard. That hasn't happened. It's good, and there are possibilities there, and that's the exciting part for United States soccer right now. There really is. It is an exciting time, even though they haven't made this World Cup.
Right now is the best time to be a U.S. soccer fan, regardless of the situation. And cheers real quick, Sam. Cheers, bro. We earned it tonight, bro. I don't know if you guys want to dive into questions real quick, but I do have at least one question.
Well, yeah,
Sure.
let's go to Twitter as much as you've chat on Twitter in this podcast.
No, I don't. It's just regardless. All right. Friend of the program, Peter Burns. This is just a question that just pertained to the latest thing we talked about.
Actually, can you read my question out? Are we gonna go? No.
All right, Sam, asshole Sam. Do you think USA will qualify for hashtag Russia 2018? This was tweeted after the United States lost. So Sam, host of the podcast, you can piss.
No, I corrected myself.
He goes, I mean Qatar 2026. Which is 2022. So
okay.
we'll just leave that.
I'm getting off Twitter.
Yeah, it was a good try. Peter Burns asked, at Peter Burns 28, what do you do with the senior national team until next cycle? New manager? ? Let the kids play? ? Any more Deuce Bradley Altidore ?
Okay, I'll take this real quick. All right, you're gonna take.
No, you take it. I'm just saying this is like such a great question because this is like highlighting everything that needs to be talked about from the perspective of us or anyone trying to cover this team or talk about this team. This is the biggest question, and we'll get into the other questions in a second, but this is like a 15-20 minute talking point right here, so let's just dive into this.
I'll go into this, Peter Burns. It's only a few hours after this loss. The tensions are high right now, and there's a lot of emotions running around. Everything. It's like, okay, get rid of the him. We know the two people are going to go, Galati and Arena. We know those guys are going to be out.
I know the answer is yes, but 100%. Galati's gone. U.S. Soccer President Sunil Galati's gone. Has to be. 100%.
I mean, you see the picture of him after that, and there was commentators saying on beIN that he was sitting behind them, just absolutely devastated.
For those of you that are on Twitter, or regardless if you follow us or not, Stephen Goff, he's a reporter for the Washington Post. He's one of the biggest reporters in U.S. soccer. He tweeted a pretty profound picture of Sunil Galati in the presser after, just head in his hands. He knows that his tenure at the top of U.S. soccer.
And it's sad. It's sad. And it's not only sad for the president, it's sad for Bruce Arena, and we've discussed this. I'm not going to dive much deeper into that. And let the kids play. I wish Weston McKennie played the last 6 games of last season than the first 6 games of this season.
For Schalke.
Oh, yeah.
For Schalke. And if he plays the last 6 games of that season in the Bundesliga, he's in this squad. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. And he's good enough to be in this squad. And as much as Kellen Acosta's been raved about, nothing in the Gold Cup, nothing in these qualifiers, and shit form for FC Dallas in the last 2 months.
True that, man.
Unbelievable. Weston McKennie, you're in if you're playing the last 6 games of the Bundesliga last season. So there are plenty of kids out there. Not all the kids are going to be brought into this team. You need a mixture of experienced players and youth players, like any successful international team, with the German team, with the Brazil team. With successful teams, you need a mixture. That's gone throughout history. You can't just throw in a bunch of youth players in the international stage and expect things to happen.
Absolutely not.
It's not going to happen.
So the question is, we're going to answer this question going into the next cycle. Not that we're by no means experts in the youth system. We've watched the Under-20 World Cup. We're now watching the Under-17 World Cup. 4 years, fast forward 4 years, or fast forward 2 years, really, when qualifying starts. Who do we think is in this squad for qualifying for 2022?
Well, Deuce is gone. Dempsey's, that's it.
Dempsey's gone. All these guys, I feel bad for. I really, they gave us so many happy moments and everything, but Deuce is,
I mean, Donovan's gone. I mean, everyone's,
Donovan?
I'm just saying it's sad. It's going to be sad for players that have given you joy in the last 10, 12 years and see him go out like this. We saw Donovan go out in the last World Cup. It's a sad way to go out, not getting picked for the squad. Now we've seen Dempsey go out.
This is different, though. Tonight was different because, honestly, until right now we're talking about this, in the 3-4 hours since the game ended, the fact that I'm never see Clint Dempsey play an important game for the U.S. men's national team again. I haven't even thought about it until I swear to God, right now.
And I thought that goal was going in. The one that Bradley played the corner on the ground. I thought that. I mean, that was perfectly. I mean, good save by the keeper.
Save by the
you know where that keeper played? College. I may be wrong, but this is what the guy who was with me said. He said he played college at UAlbany.
Really? Yeah, there was a guy, and he played in the MLS for a little bit.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the keeper played at UAlbany.
All right, let me look it up. But
wouldn't surprise me. UAlbany has a
well, I think
program.
You're looking at in 2 years, I think Deuce is gone. Bradley's there, but he's got to start getting. I guess he got to start.
Because the problem is you're gonna have the guys that won't go to the World Cup, but that are useful helping in qualifying, and Altidore is gonna be helpful in qualifying, no doubt. Yeah. He's the best number 9 in the U.S. system, no doubt.
Well, he's gonna guarantee you goals until the Hex. That's basically it.
Exactly.
Well,
and then
goals at home.
I don't know. Sam's looking this up.
Well, okay, just
whatever. UAlbany's sick. Yeah, great. UAlbany's sick.
Yeah. No,
go Great Danes. Go Great Danes.
But we don't know. There's an abundance of youth players coming through, and we don't know what the next manager is going to do.
Who is the next manager? Let's do that because that was part of the question. Who is the next U.S. men's national team manager? So, like I said, I was working, I was busy, I was crying, I was drinking Strongbow cider. First thing I saw on Twitter, David Wagner, Huddersfield manager.
Yeah.
Okay.
With his history with the U.S. men's national team, I think that David Wagner, just depending on what happens with Huddersfield this season, going into next year, don't know if Huddersfield will stay up, if they go down. I think that David Wagner has to be the favorite for the U.S. men's national team position going forward. He has that German history of developing youth. It has to be David Wagner is the top choice going forward. Again, we'll see what happens. Here we go with Adrian Fawcett.
I don't
nothing about UAlbany.
He doesn't really
absolutely nothing about UAlbany. All right.
It was in 2008, 2000.
Oh,
he
was.
He did play.
Shout out to UAlbany.
The Trinidad and Tobago goalkeeper was in 2000. Yep, 2008 to 2011.
That makes sense.
And fans' favorite.
All right, shout out to UAlbany with their big game against the University of New Hampshire tomorrow night for top of the American East.
Next manager, yes, David Wagner. We've spoke about him since the start of the podcast. Great young coach, took Huddersfield from the depths of the Championship to the Premier League. German American, ex-United States international. Great choice. If he's going to be a wanted man, not only in the Premier League now, but around Europe and in the Bundesliga.
I feel like the USA job is a step down sometimes for some of these guys that haven't made their name yet.
See, my thing with the USA job, and this might be my U.S. men's national team ignorance and just full-on support, is that if you're an international manager, is there a better... that sounds really dumb. Is there a better job than the U.S. men's national team to support? Because you have the whole support of the country, regardless, win or lose. For the most part, people want you to win. They support you because, frankly, they're not smart enough to support you otherwise.
As far as a job goes, dude, it's an awesome job. You have 15 games a year. It's so good, and you hang out in LA all day. It's a great job. It's not like Zidane right now at Real Madrid has probably the best managerial job in the world.
He's under a lot of pressure right now.
He's got to start winning some matches.
So, but I'm saying that's probably the highest profile. It's the biggest club, and constantly all day. It's like an NFL coach. It's just every day is pressure. You're probably constantly looking at things, and you're traveling. It's all. The USA job, I think, is a better job for a manager who's already done a lot, who's looking to then, secure, another. I was thinking, who was the? I don't know why my brain is Roberto
Martinez.
Roberto Martinez, yeah.
He's at Belgium right now. And Belgium's Belgium's a way better U.S. Like they're kind of in a similar
What if
situation
Belgium wins the
with
World Cup? What if Belgium wins the World Cup?
Then maybe he leaves.
Yeah, he's not.
They're not going to win a World Cup because Roberto Martinez is a fraud. But regardless,
Okay.
all right. So I have the next. So we kind of had a lot of questions tweeted in because of the.
Sam Allardyce is available, and
Yeah, thanks.
Roy Hodgson.
This one's kind of funny, lighten up the mood a little bit. Former guest of the program, DC United employee, CJ Trammell tweets, "Fuck one, marry one, kill one. Jurgen Klinsmann, Sunil Gulati, Bruce Arena."
Fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Arena, I mean, Jurgen
don't
Klinsmann
know,
is dead, bro. He's
Thing
so
is, Galati and Arena are both overweight, and I don't really like.
All right, I can easily do this one.
All right,
Okay, you go.
You're gonna fuck Klinsmann, 100%. He's hot. He's got that blonde hair. You can pretend he's a girl. You're definitely gonna kill Gulati because I always think he sucks. You're gonna kill Gulati, and then you're gonna marry Bruce because Bruce gives great speeches. So
Bruce is like he's gonna be home every night after work.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
He's gonna be home for dinner. He's taking care of the kids. He's bringing the kids to baseball practice.
I'm gonna go with Mike by fucking Jurgen Klinsmann. Yeah, just put a bag over his head, see what happens.
Both my parents listen, and I've sworn enough this podcast, so I'm gonna go with Mike.
You have to put a disclaimer on this podcast.
Yeah, Bruce Arena. I'll definitely marry Bruce Arena because he could probably cook good meals. They'll be ready.
Bruce Arena ate dinner in my grandparents' kitchen because you recruited my uncle for UVA. Different story, but he likes to eat.
Dude,
another
4 degrees of separation.
Yeah. I33T Sandman tweeted us, not a question, but he says, "Be the light, continue to be the light" at the Third Touch Podcast. We just gotta be the light, guys. We got just sift through the nonsense.
I think that's towards beIN Sports USA because that was a shocking broadcasting performance by
fucking
beIN
brutal. Did you watch the pregame? I don't want to shit on Bocanegra and John Spector.
We put
but oh my god,
we put the Argentina game on before.
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna hit on. But
it's a new channel. They need help because I don't want. I'm happy with like ESPN as competitors. So.
Dude, beIN Sports is by far the best for English commentary for any, whether it's La Liga, Serie A, League One. I will never say that.
I mean, Connor and I were so hyped for Football TV, which the owner of the bar kindly purchased for our pleasure. It's actually really, really great. You have all the beIN Sports Connect, but unfortunately it crashed because of high traffic. But we had the Colombia game on. The streaming was good. You can get extra channels on there. And
so any of our listeners that are like, I don't have FS1, don't have FS2, don't have beIN Sports, spend the $20 a month for Fubo TV.
For the first 3 months, $40 thereafter.
Oh, they don't advertise that in the commercials now, do they? Regardless, it's a really decent program.
It's like a good Sling TV, but with soccer. And then for any
with hidden fees.
I just feel like, can't one network just buy all the rights for everything? NBC just buy the rights for everything.
Well, after tonight, I'm still.
Dude, Fox
ride
is
with
pissed.
Sling TV.
Huh?
Oh,
Fox bought the World Cup. They're like, what the fuck? We have the 2018 World Cup in Russia.
Shit. No
USA. They're like, what do we do?
Dude, it really hasn't even sunk in. Just Mike.
Well, Alexi Lalas is very quiet on Twitter right now.
He has been.
Yeah, he just tweeted words.
He literally said words. Hashtag USMNT national
So he
team.
wanted a response. He just Anyway.
I don't know. If
I think he's a secretly or not secretly. I think he's a huge fan. So he's probably hurt.
We'll go to the questions after. I just want to go through the Common Bowl qualifying. Argentina. Second win in Ecuador in 60 years. Messi absolutely masterclass in Quito today. 3-0. Unbelievable
that
goals.
Goal was great. Yeah.
He has carried that team through qualifying, no doubt. I couldn't see any way Argentina was going to qualify before today, but even after the 40-odd seconds, Ecuador taking the lead, Messi just stepped up, and that was when the going gets tough. The world's best come through. Chile miss out, 3-0 loss against Brazil. Peru and Colombia.
Draw.
Colombia going through. Peru making the playoffs against New Zealand. Peru, first World Cup.
Can I talk about something?
Yes.
Talk about it.
Something. 1, 2. CONMEBOL, the best qualifying, most
by
entertaining.
far,
Yeah. That's no
By
question.
far,
Any
it crushes
of you Euro
UEFA.
snob
it crushes
idiots,
all
any of
that.
you Euro snob
I'm
idiots,
standing right here.
you're not a Euro snob idiot. I'm just saying. South American games, South American qualifying, Copa America, CONMEBOL qualifying, it is a different level.
Yeah.
It is soccer perfected. It is the way the game is supposed to be played. It is the most exciting brand of the
There's no weak
sport.
team. And Bolivia.
There is no weak team. I mean, it's so entertaining.
Yeah, it's great. And you go from, different terrains and altitudes.
You're at
and
like
then-
13,000 feet.
4 days.
Yeah.
4 days. Great.
It's the best brand of soccer.
It's great. And the excitement, the passion, the fans.
The fans.
tackles,
I was walking
the refs,
walking to the
dude.
bar. Walking
Bro,
to the
there's
place
guys
I was-
with their legs snapped in half, and the ref's like, "Yeah, play on. It's South America, play on."
Dude, I was walking
No yellow
to-
card.
I was walking. I'm in Brooklyn, and I was, because I live in Brooklyn.
Oh, you
I
live
was
in
walking,
Brooklyn, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, way to
And-
plug yourself, bro. U.S. lost. You're still
whatever,
plugging
bro,
yourself. You
Dude.
fucking selfish asshole.
Dude, so I'm walking, dude. So I'm walking to the bar, and I'm walking by this Argentinian steakhouse, packed, watching the Argentina game. I saw Messi's first goal there. I'm like, oh shit, I'm on my way, dude. And I get to the bar, I'm watching that, packed with Colombians, packed with Argentinians, a few Peruvians. Okay, that's the only thing. When the Peruvians scored, when they scored that goal to tie it, the celebration, I never was there. Like, ooh! It was like a weird noise. I don't know what Peruvian. It was like, ooh! Did you have any proof?
No,
we had a Paraguay fan.
it was Peruvian fans yelling for Yoshi Otun, Orlando City FC player.
I mean, the fact that it was going on the same time as the CONCACAF, I mean, even if I was an Argentina fan, the passion down there is obviously tenfold, and it's obviously great to see in this country.
CONMEBOL
The
is
diversity
special, bro. It really
great.
is a special...
But I have a question for you guys, actually. I have a very... Now that the US have failed to qualify for Russia 2018, who are you guys going to follow?
France. Best team on the fucking planet. Best players on the planet. Most exciting team. I can't say that because that might be offending people, but France is... Can I say it?
No.
Can I say it?
No, don't say
Can I
it.
say my formula from building a top?
No.
Okay. Support France. Best players in the world. Best midfield. Best forwards. Best defenders.
Mike, are you going to support a
I'm
team
more-
or are you just going to be a spectator in this?
I don't know. I always support. Well, I've always supported England quasi. As
Who?
I don't know why. It's because they're England.
No,
Because
I'm with you. I
Ireland-
always support England.
Ireland are going to be in the playoffs. Republic of Ireland.
I'm gonna root for Ireland, but I probably honestly the one who I actually really root for is Mexico, Costa Rica, Honduras, and Panama.
There you go.
That's why I root for the people that I feel connected to,
amazing.
and I'm playing against them. That's who I'd actually probably root for.
Now, can I
Plus,
say,
CONCACAF is just the underdog, is a very underdog league.
can I say
Even
one,
though I want to boycott.
Can I say one thing? All right, so I said France, but as a young lad, circa like 2006, 2005, just growing up, it was always like obviously U.S. men's national team, but England, just growing up as a Premier League fan, it's always a soft spot for them. I'll definitely be rooting for England. France, just because they're by far the best squad in the world. Don't sleep on Brazil, though. But it is going to be a very different World Cup experience because bottom line, it was always the men's national team. And this year is going to be... I don't know if I'll be as interested.
I'm going to have to gamble
man.
to give a shit, really.
I'll tell you what.
Exactly,
When-
bro.
when-
I'm not going to be that interested. I'm going to be interested extremely... I'm going to be really interested, but it's not going to be like, okay, U.S. plays this day, everyone is going to be at the bar. Dude, I used before I could even drink, I was at
by the way,
bar
no
that I
joke.
would now work
How much
at.
money did the bar lose tonight in the long run?
It doesn't matter. Let's not get there right now. That's for a future podcast. But yeah, a fucking lot. But when England didn't qualify for the '94 World Cup when I was 13 years old, I never enjoyed a World Cup more so than that '94 World Cup. I loved, and maybe because it was in the United States and it was just like this, oh my God, this wow, these big nets, this show, these fireworks, these, Diana Ross like falling over, all the drama.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out Diana Ross.
But it was an entertaining World Cup. And there was no pressure on me as a fan. I just sat there and I enjoyed game after game. Ireland were in it and I loosely supported them because they were our home nation, kinda. But the World Cup was very enjoyable. Just seeing, Maradona getting thrown out of the World Cup, Brazil tearing the World Cup, Baggio. It was an amazing experience to watch a World Cup as a neutral and just sit back and just watch it from the comfort of my home. And there was no pressure. There was no drawback. There was no tension. There was nothing. And it was just a good viewing. It was like a TV show for just over a month.
I feel like it's like when you watch the NCAA tournament and your team or whatever isn't in it, but it's just such an entertaining product. You're just into it. I think that I'll root for all the CONCACAF teams, like I said, but probably when it gets down to the semifinals or the finals, I love Messi. I just think he's such a classy guy. I think he's the best, probably the best talent of any sport.
His 3 goals tonight were amazing, especially the third one.
He's on a level right now that's so high that I really think that I would really love for him to win the World Cup and just have that nice, you're the best player ever, and that's pretty much.
Okay, let's talk about the teams that have qualified from Common Ball: Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina, Colombia, Peru, and that playoff against New Zealand. From UEFA, France, Portugal with a win over Switzerland today. Unfortunately for Switzerland, they only lost one game. That was against Portugal today. Germany with a perfect record, plus 39 goal difference. Serbia qualified automatically. Poland, England, Spain, Belgium, and Iceland, the smallest nation ever to qualify for the World Cup, beating the record of Trinidad and Tobago.
Batiboya Wagwania Sakyamara.
In the playoffs, we have Croatia, we have Greece, we have Italy, we have Denmark are in there, Ireland, Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland are in there, Switzerland are in there, Sweden are in there, and the unlucky team to finish second is in England's group, Slovakia, missing out with 18 points, who miss out in that playoffs. Honduras against Australia that we talked about. There's still a few teams to be decided in the World Cup next year. Unfortunately for the United States of America, it will not be happening next summer. Let's take a breath. Let's compose. Let's look to the future. And everything's going to be okay. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart, I would say. I feel for you guys. I've had this feeling numerous times. And we do have a few more Twitter questions.
There's just one more. There's just one more.
Our Twitter's blowing up tonight.
There's just one more, and it's a good question. And it's from a passionate New York City FC fan who me and Sam met down in Orlando for the first game of the season. Uncle Jorge. Big fan of the program. It's a pretty reasonable question. And this is from... Jorge's a Mexico fan, right? Yeah, he's a Mexico fan. Jorge. Sick.
Big New York City FC fan as well.
He goes, "Why do you fools fall in love?" And Jorge, that's because we have been the underdogs from the existence of this beautiful sport arriving on our shores.
But it's not a joke anymore. It's not a joke in US soccer. You're not the laughing stock of the world anymore.
No, we're not. And that's why...
New Zealand are the laughing stock of the world. No, I'm joking.
Oh, in the terms of this situation, that is reasonable. But to be against, why are we fools? That almost it's not against him, but it's almost hurtful that we are considered that as fans because we have a team that.
I thought he meant that you fall in love with a team that's not that good.
That's what he means. But for us, are we better than we think we are? I don't think so. I think that us three are very reasonable, especially with having Sam's perspective as an Englishman who has lived here for just about a decade. He's a neutral, man. He's a neutral who will lean towards the United States because he's lived here. However, in general, we are what we are, and I don't think we think we're better than we are. However, we see the qualities of the players we have.
I definitely.
We watch. I'm just saying, we watch MLS. We see what Josie Altidore does week in, week out for the best team in MLS history. We see what Michael Bradley does for the week in, week out for the best team in MLS history. We saw what Jorge Villafana did for Portland Timbers when they won the league. We see what Matt Beasler does week in, week out for Sporting Kansas City. They won the league with him as center back. maybe we put too much stock in MLS. Maybe we put too much stock in our players. However, I believe in the U.S. soccer system. I'm a big pro-rel guy. It's not happening regardless. I believe in MLS. I believe in our federation. I don't believe in our president. I don't necessarily believe in our manager. But I'm not going to... I believe in the system, man. I believe in who we have. We should have been at this World Cup. And for me to be pouring beers, crying behind the bar tonight at my job, dude, it was surreal, bro. I think Sam can attest, bro. I just was absolutely deflated, and it was just the whole bar was, man. Every U.S. fan walked up the bar as soon as the whistle blew, and the ones that
the Outlaws did a 50-50 raffle on him reading out the winning ticket.
Shout out Dylan. Shout out Dylan.
Bless Dylan. You know,
absolutely. Tears.
To see how sport can affect grown men is, in one hand, amazing, and in another hand, devastating. Because
it's a beautiful thing in a bad way.
It is just so powerful. The sport is so powerful. And do the United States think they're better than they are? I don't know. I can't give you the answer to that. I feel there should never be a 60 minutes on a 19-year-old. I feel like that should never happen. I feel there's a lot of pressure on these players, even though they shrug it off somewhat. And I hate to say this. But Alexi Lalas might be fucking right here. He might be right with that rant. They might be overhyped, tattooed millionaires. They might be. And he might be right. And that pains me to say that.
Nah, dude, fuck Alexi Lalas, dude. Honestly, fuck that dude, bro. At least Taylor Twellman came out and made coherent points tonight, bro. Alexi Lalas with his rant.
I listen, I know that for a fact that I think they're better than they are. Like, I know it. I love this team. I don't know.
There's nothing I've ever loved more in my life than the U.S. men's national team.
It's going to get better.
And to not be in this World Cup is...
It's going to get better. And you've lost Donovan 3-4 years ago.
Don't care about that, dude.
Yeah, I would, dude.
Tonight
Come on,
Mike.
Mike. We cared about Donovan Lee. I wanted Donovan. I love Donovan. Donovan gave you so many happy memories. So many.
He gave us a lot of happy memories. Except for when he went to Indonesia and smoked weed on a beach when we were trying to qualify for World Cup. That was a real happy memory, Landon. Thank you for that, scumbag. Dude, honestly, bro, fuck Landon Donovan, dude. Show up next time we have to qualify for World Cup.
Dude, I love you.
Maybe if he was there for this World Cup, we would have gone. Instead, he was smoking weed on a beach in Indonesia.
Yeah, you know what's gonna be so sad is when Clinton Dempsey beats his record on some boring friendly in like 2 months. What's that?
That's okay.
Thanks for listening. What do you guys look at dick pics on fucking?
This was a mixed emotion podcast, and we appreciate all the questions. This is the beginning. This is not the beginning of the end. This is the beginning of the beginning
of U.S. men's national
team. Support your team. Support the MLS. Support your players. Get behind them. Get behind the new manager. Get behind the new president. Do whatever you can as a coach, as a parent, as a kid. Whoever you are, soccer has just begun in the United States of America.
Absolutely.
I was gonna finish.
No, that was brilliant. But honestly, if you're like a Euro, fucking a Euro snob, dude. Honestly, this is the big. It's a new dawn for us, man. And yo, we got the fucking under 17s on Thursday at 10:30.
That's what I'm talking about.
FS2 against Colombia,
We'll be back.
We're in the group. The podcast isn't dead.
Those pitches better be good.
The U.S. men's national team isn't dead. Support your country. Anyone that thinks to know more about soccer than you do doesn't know more about soccer than you do. You listen to this podcast, shit on them, embarrass them. This is us, yo. This is all we got, yo. Is this? God bless America. God bless the U.S. men's national team. God bless Taylor Twellman. God bless Alexi Lalas. God bless ESPN. God bless Fox Sports 1, yo. God bless beIN Sports. God bless CONCACAF. We're out.
Thanks, guys. Sorry. Bye.